Hello, and welcome to Beyond Books, where we talk about books and always go beyond. I'm your host. I'm Renee. I have the co-host with me this evening. Up on the bed, baby. Come on. Jump up. Good girl. Very good. Co-host Raina. And speaking of Raina, someone had asked what kind of treats I give to Raina. And so I thought I'd show what she has. Now, when we do our videos, I don't like to give her too much, She gets these little nudges, and they're soft, just really tiny little treat. They're called nudges on the go, and they're just meant to take along with you for training or something. And I even break those up and just give her a little piece, because here's the problem with Raina and probably most dogs. They don't chew. They don't chew what you give them. They'll just, swallow biscuits and all kinds of things. And when they get sick, you get your biscuit back whole. So you know that they haven't chewed it. And, that's probably what's making them sick. So rather than go through all of that, I make sure I just give her a little tiny bit at a time, something that she can or at least will chew once or twice, and that helps a little bit. The other biscuit that I find is pretty nice are these Old Mother Hubbard biscuits. And these, you can buy these anywhere. They're at Walmart, they're at CVS, I think Walgreens, all of those places. And the biscuit itself, the little bone, is very similar to milk bone. And I just get the tiny ones. They come in different flavors. This is the savory mix, go figure. So they come in bacon and cheese, liver crunch, and peanuttier. So there you go. So see, I'll break that up into little tiny pieces just to give her while we're doing the video, as well. So that seems to work good for her. The little milk bones, those are fine too. But I stay away from the things like, bacon strips and pepperonis and things like that have the dyes and like a really, really strong flavor. That doesn't seem to really do her any good. I think they have a lot of salt and, they probably have a lot of calories. Some of the dog treats, you'd be surprised. They've got like 60 calories, one treat. I mean, that's like way too much for her to have a few of those a day. So yeah, I always break everything up, and she does fine with it. So, yeah, you can see she's very happy and healthy. So, okay, let's talk about what we're doing today. I am here to do a tag. The tag is called the Cozy Coffee Mug Book Tag. And I was tagged on this tag by both Book Chat with Pat at Book Chat with Pat, and also Daniela at Uncommon Reader. So I will put links to their channel, and here we go. Now, this is from sayings that were on, I guess, originally coffee mugs. And I forgot to write down who had the original tag. Sorry about that. I will make sure I put that in the description box, because, again, it's someone who went by the little sayings on their mug. So the first one is Hex the Patriarchy. And you share your favorite women authors. So for me, that would be Patricia Cornwell. She's written about 28 books now about her character, Dr. Kay Scarpetta, who is a medical examiner. And then recently I have discovered Toni Morrison. I read several of her books, a couple of her books this year. I read Beloved and The Bluest Eye. Those happen to be also banned books, so I have full reviews of both of those, which I'll link below if you're interested in those. And also, I think Kristen Hanna has become kind of a favorite of mine. I've read a couple of her books. and this year read The Women, which I really enjoyed. So I will also put a link to that review as well. And now I was going to show some of my own mugs from my own collection. So for that, Hex the Patriarchy, I think that I am going to show my mug with Minnie Mouse. Nice Minnie Mouse mug. I love the colors on this, and the little character is raised. And this is from, it isn't just from Walt Disney World, but I think it's the resorts that give these so that you can fill up, your coffee when you stay there. So, you got to either stay at the resort or you got to know someone to get one of these. But yeah, I like it. So number 2 is never underestimate a woman who reads Stephen King books. Share your favorite fictional women characters. Well, I figured I'd just go ahead and just stick with Stephen King books since I do read Stephen King myself. I've read quite a few of his books. And when I think of strong female characters that he has, the first one that came to mind for me is Carrie. She overcame some stuff, everybody putting her down at home and at school. And she definitely got back. So, yeah, Carrie. And then also from one of his books that I read this year, and that is Gerald's Game. I really like the spunk of the female character in here. Her name is Jessie Burlingame. And what she goes through in the book and, what gets accomplished with her is kind of something too. So yeah, I thought she deserved at least an honorable mention. And for that, let's see. Never underestimate a woman. I thought I'd show my Evil Queens mug. I think that's what they call this. It's Disney's female characters that, are a little bit edgy. You got Cruella de Vil there and Ursula, the evil queen from Sleeping Beauty. Yeah. So I like the colors on this as well. Yeah, and this is just one of the Disney mugs. So yeah, kind of matches my Minnie Mouse. So next is number 3, Edgar Allan Poe. Share your favorite Gothic book or story. Well, I couldn't find anything that I had read that is actually under the category of Gothic. But I thought of Robert R. McCammon, who writes very unusual stories. Some of them probably defy definition in a genre for sure. But one of my favorites by him is Boy's Life. And I looked it up to check, and it did not say that it was Gothic. It said magical realism. So, and that makes more sense. But another book of his I read is called Gone South. And that one they did have listed as Southern Gothic, which does make sense. And again, like Boy's Life, this is a very unusual story, which I really enjoyed. I think Boy's Life is a little bit better. If you're looking to kind of get into this author, I would really suggest that book. But this one is quite good as well. Also, another one, this is a new author for me. This book is by a Virginia author. He writes horror, not so much Gothic, but they also have this under Southern Gothic. Beneath Ash and Bone, and the author is D. Alexander Ward. I got this at a local bookstore, and so it has his signature in it. He has signed this copy somewhere. Okay, maybe I lied. Maybe he didn't sign this copy. Here it is. I knew it was here somewhere. There we go. There's his signature there. So yeah, and this is a good book. He's a good horror writer. So yeah, I enjoyed that. And let's see, for that, we have horror. How about an all black mug? Not really. It's a Starbucks mug. But that's okay, it'll do. I like Starbucks mugs too. I don't drink their coffee, but I like their mugs. So yeah, that's one that I have. Okay, so number 4, Swiftea. Name your auto-buy authors. Okay, well, whenever Patricia Cornwell comes out with a new book, you know, I'm not going to say get it like right away, but I know I'm definitely going to get it at one point or another. If I wait a while, maybe I can get it used. If I want it right away, I'll get it right away. So yeah, so Patricia Cornwell, and also John Grisham. I just always follow what they're coming out with. I always know when they're coming out with something new. And yeah, I really enjoy both of those authors and have been reading them for quite a long time. So for that, I'm going to show one of my other styles of Starbucks mugs. This one's green. Got almost like a tropical look to it or something with their logo on it. So yeah, pretty nice. So number 5, Camp Crystal Lake. Share a book that makes you feel nostalgic. So for that, I chose, one would definitely be Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. You know, the book takes place in the 50s for one thing. So, you know, kind of my era, even though I was born in the 50s. So, I mean, I don't really remember the 50s, but, you know, a similar time. And also, I've read that book several times throughout my lifetime. So, you know, it does bring up nostalgic feelings. Pippi Longstocking, that's somebody else that I read when I was younger. I bought this just a few months ago so I could just enjoy Pippi Longstocking. Now I don't think I had this when I was a kid. I think I had a couple of her books, but I'm not sure I had this. This actually has 3 books in it. Pippi Longstocking, Pippi Goes on Board, and Pippi in the South Seas. So I read this every once in a while, and yeah, I have a good time with it. I'm sure you all know Pippi. She's got that crazy red hair. She didn't have any adult supervision. You know, I mean, I just used to read her books and just fantasize. What if I met her and I could just, you know, hang out with her and do whatever I felt like doing without any adult supervision? All right. I don't know. My camera had too much videos on it. It's too full. So I had to delete some of my other videos in order to continue making this one. So no big deal. Where were we? We were talking about Pippi. I think we were done with Pippi. And then I was going to mention Wellness by Nathan Hill. That book actually starts out in the early 90s. And that's when the couple that are in the story, they're the central characters. That's when they meet. And it made me feel kind of nostalgic because that was sort of the last time that, you know, there was no influence of the internet and, you know, not as much influence of cell phones and all that kind of stuff. And it did kind of make me feel a little bit nostalgic reading that. So, yeah. So that was one that I had read this year. And so for that, I decided something nostalgic that I would show one of my favorite mugs that Donna made that I use very often. And that's this one here. I like the colors that she put on it. I really like the way the handle is. I like the way she did the bottom. I think it's got her little stamp there with her initials and things like that. So yeah, I just really like that one. So I showed that one for nostalgic. So now, Happy Halloween. Share a holiday-themed book that you recommend. Well, I don't really ever remember reading an actual Halloween-themed book, but around October of last year, I purchased this Virginia anthology of horror stories. This was also at a local bookstore, and it's called Dark Corners of the Old Dominion. And so, yeah, this was, kind of a Halloween book for me, sort of. But as far as Christmas stories, also last Christmas, I discovered a series. Oh gosh, I can't remember the author now. But I didn't type it, of course, in my notes, but I will put a link to it below. Anyway, the name of the character is Andy Carpenter, and he's a lawyer, and he has a lot of dogs. And the author himself actually has a lot of dogs as well. And he does a lot of Christmas books. So the one that I read last Christmas was called Dachshund Through the Snow. And I just heard that he had a new one that just came out. I think it's called, instead of like Merrier Christmas, have a Terrier Christmas or something like that. They're kind of corny, but they're funny and, they're good. Yeah. And the author, such a dog lover. I mean, you just can't help but like them. So let's see. For that, I'm going to show you another mug that Donna made that I really like. Let me show you this here. And that would be this. I like the color. And again, I like the way she did the bottom. I love a mug that's like a little bit bigger on the bottom than it is on the top. And it has a really nice big handle. And I like that as well. It's fairly light for a pottery mug. So yeah, it's nice. I just like the way she did it. And her initials are there on the bottom. Okay, so finally, number 7. This mug contains magic. So it says, share a book you enjoyed that is outside of your comfort zone or typical genre. And so for that, I chose 2 books that I read this year. One is a romance, probably the only book I read this year that you could really say is a romance. And that's The Kiss Quotient. This is by Helen Huang. And this is, just a good romance. I think I was reading it because I wanted something light in between some other things I was reading that were a little more heavy duty. And I buzzed through this in just a few days, and it was just kind of fun. So yeah, I enjoyed that book. And then I also read Ahab's Return, which would be under the genre of magical realism. This is kind of a fantasy of what it might be like if Ahab had not perished, in the ship when he went after Moby Dick. And if he remained alive and were to come back, what would he be doing and who would he be looking for? And, what would be going on? And so, yeah, there's some magical realism in this as well. So it was pretty good, actually. It was a very imaginative book. So I enjoyed that as well. And I don't read a lot of books like that. So, okay. So next, number 8 is tag some bookish friends. Well, you're all my bookish friends. So if you feel moved to do this tag, jump up and let's do it. Oh, I forgot to show a mug for the last one for Ahab. So this is another one that Donna made. I really like it. It's kind of romancy and kind of magical, isn't it? Because I like the way she's doing this design. This is kind of new. She just kind of came up with this. And I like the way the bottom is, kind of the natural clay. She did another one like that, this one here. But she didn't do any other painting. This one has other painting on it that looks kind of cool. So, all right. So yeah, if you like this tag, please feel free to pick it up. It's fun. You'll enjoy doing it, I promise. So yeah, let's do it. Tomorrow or the day after, but well, I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably video it tomorrow, but I may not put out the video until Tuesday, and I'll do another tag on Tuesday. I'm going to plant some different microgreens. The broccoli ones are all gone. Finished them off today on some pumpkin butternut squash bisque soup from Trader Joe's. Sprinkled some on top, tasted delicious. So yeah, those were very good, and we're going to try some sunflower ones. So let's see how those go. So I'll be planting those before I do the tag, or maybe after, whatever. We'll see. Doesn't really matter, does it? All right. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, comment. If you like anything you see, or you've read any of these books, or yeah, let me know, and let me know what you think. So let me know about your favorite mug, or your favorite book, or whatever. Your favorite dog, what you feed your dog. All right, and thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good evening.